We are live, and I am asking for your assistance in making this possible for the homeless people in Chicago who are in need of blankets. But more importantly than that, they need a generators, because the community is growing. And yes, we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers, because if it were not for the ancestors, we would not be here. And this is Black History Month. And I just thought about it. I got something very special to show you. So just hold on a second here. I don't know how I forgot to send this. That's what happens when you let people read your books. They don't like to give them back. I like to lend them out until I've eaten, until I tell them hungry, right? Until I've read them. And this information here, where is writing a congratulations to Kelvin Dukes, who's a runner-up of America's Got Talent. And the winner of Singer. We always have these children on. They're so talented. Higher Learning Network.org Global. I just went to America's Got Talent virtual, and I saw that they have now gone virtual. So Higher Learning Network, good place to be. Okay, and winner of the 2020, he was the winner for 2020. We're now in 21 contest. Yep. Congratulations to singer Kelvin Dukes, runner-up of America's Got Talent, and the winner of the 2020 Higher Learning Network Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. Excuse me. We are asking that people donate to the Higher Learning Network, or if you got a generator, please take one by there. It's 10-2, it's 5-2 Armadillo, so you don't have to start this until 12 o'clock till he's on YouTube. And right now, as we speak, I'm looking for the Cicely Tyson, because she's been honored today. And I think I'll show that while we're waiting.
How to stop buffering issues anywhere.
Because I think people are interested in that. So I'll pull that up so you can see it. How about that? So you don't have to stare at my face. And I will share screen. And there she goes, Cicely Tyson. Okay. And I will let you see that. So I'll start it. Oops, where'd it go? There you go.
And there already is a monumental crowd in order to honor this monumental woman who has literally set the stage, no pun intended, for generations to come. There are people of all different ages and races here outside of this historic church for blocks. People are coming, they're waiting in line. The viewing is underway right now at 10 o'clock. It's going to continue throughout the evening, but it's what this woman left behind that is creating such emotion and such discussions here along the streets of Harlem this morning, as people will take what she gave them with them for the future. So basically, this Cicely Tyson, she was a major figure in Hollywood, starring in trailblazing roles in film and television on the Broadway stage. She was also a legend within the African American community and right here in Harlem, where she was raised. During her 96 years, she gained praise as a legendary Black actress. She refused to cave into the Hollywood system and said she would rather starve than accept demeaning stereotypical roles. She's known for being a proud lady who demanded respect and treated everyone with that same respect. During her 7-decade career, Tyson won a Tony, received an honorary Oscar, and at age 88, she became the oldest person to win a Tony, and now her legend, it lives on within the people who've made their way to Harlem to honor this woman.
It's important to be here because Cicely Tyson was such a legend, such a strong, amazing woman. So it's important that I pay my respects and pay homage to someone who broke down so many barriers so that I could just keep propelling in my life and become the woman that I want to be.
She's a leader for women and Black people. So it's very important. This is history. This is legendary. Cicely, her passion, her purpose, her drive. Although I've never met her, of course, because she's a celebrity, but you can feel her passion and her legacy.
And you just heard from 3 of hundreds of people who are here already to pay their final respects to Cicely Tyson. The viewing, again, it's underway. It started at 10 o'clock. By the way, the last woman you heard from, she traveled from Florida all the way to New York to be here today to pay her final respects. She says she's never been to New York City, but she wanted to be here today to honor this woman who has left such an impact on so many people. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Cicely Tyson will continue to leave that impact for generations to come. We're live in Harlem. Rebecca Solomon, Pix 11 News.
And thank you, Rebecca,
Illinois
for
homeowners, if you have a
sharing
power
that
meter like that.
information on our Queen Mother, Cicely Tyson, who has made her transition. She made her transition a week ago yesterday, and her services are being held today in Harlem. We were just saying, my husband and I, Tony, were just saying, had this weather and pandemic not been in place, we would have been there too. But what's important is that we carry on the work of Queen Mother Cicely Tyson and share the same vision that she had for her career, because she would not accept the slave roles that they wanted to her continue to be in. She said Sounder and a few others was enough. And if you don't know who Queen Mother Cicely Tyson is, then Google will surely help you. And I'm going to share with you more information on the funeral until our guest, Kelvin Dukes, winner of the 2020 Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest, shows up. He's at work on his job, so he's got to take out time for lunch. So until he gets here, this is what we're going to share with you this morning.
Senior Baptist Church opened, and it was important for us to be here. I would have stayed here in the rain, the snow,
The weather doesn't matter. A line had already extended around the block to bid Cicely Tyson a long farewell.
As soon as I heard about it, I went ahead and booked my flight. And I said to myself, there's no way I'm missing it. Because, I dreamed one day of meeting her, maybe getting a photo just to shake her hand, but it didn't happen.
Tyson died on January 28th at 96 years old. Her casket gingerly rolled past gates adorned with purple bows, the color of royalty, as pallbearers prepared for the public viewing.
She showed dignity and regalness. She showed to stand by what you believe in. You got your low-life job, Mr. Sheriff.
Tyson's first leading roles as a black woman in the 1970s in itself was a revolution. But her gift transcended color lines, captivating audiences for decades while intentionally conveying the humanity and depth of the African.
You have a product you're passionate about.
No,
and
but we
now's
don't
the
want
time.
to show that, YouTube always has to get in their commercials, and we're not sharing that. We're sorry. We are not sharing that. YouTube will have to do that on their own because we don't want to hear that. We want to hear about Queen Mother, and there's always going to be some commercials, so we just let it play. But in the meantime, in between time, I do believe that our 12 o'clock guest Kelvin has showed up. There he is. Let me pull him in as soon as I stop this video. And Grand Rising. Hey.
Hello.
Kelvin Dukes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Where are you joining us from, Kelvin?
I'm joining from Maryland, so yeah.
From Maryland. So you were right here in the United States too. We had so many contestants from all over the world. I'm like, when are we going to get some contestants from the USA? We got Africa, Asia, New Zealand, Australia. We got people from all over the place. We need some people from the USA. So thank you for submitting your audition tape. And now we have you here live, one-on-one, the one and only Kelvin Dukes, who is a master of what he does already at such a young age. So Kelvin, please. And well, first of all, let me say congratulations to our very own singer, artiste, Kelvin Dukes, runner-up of America's Got Talent, and the winner of the 2020 HigherLearningNetwork.org Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. So thank you for being who you are and sharing your gifts with the world. Tell us how this all got started, Kelvin.
Well, it all got started when I was around 3 years old. And since my parents would grow me up with so many different types of musical genres, they grew me up on so much music. So I just listened to as much music as I could. And then I found out that I had a voice when I would start singing to that music that they would play for me. And after then, it was just from here. So, yeah, so I've been doing a lot of performances. I've been performing at people's events. And then I just realized that music is what I should be doing. So that's what I'm going to do.
And how old were you when this first started?
When I first started doing performances, I was around like 5 and 6. I auditioned for choirs. And then when I would get into choirs, then I started doing like singular performances around the age of 8. So, yeah.
Wow. So at the age of 8, you'd already been singing for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is phenomenal. That reminds me of the story of Whitney Houston and how she got started in the church too, as many great singers do.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about you, Kelvin, and I don't even know you, but I recognize your spirit, and that is you are not afraid to move forward with your gift, because so many of us have gifts and we just, for whatever reasons, family, friends, foes tell us so much what we can't do. How do you keep that in the forefront of your mind to know that you have this talent? And did anyone ever tell you that you didn't have talent?
Well, that's a great question. Sometimes what happens is, of course, it probably happens to everyone that, like, if you're doing something and then you feel as, oh, well, maybe since it hasn't happened yet, maybe this isn't the right plan for me. And I always just keep striving. And if something doesn't work out, it might not have been the right time for you to do that. And maybe either try again. And if something doesn't work, okay, maybe it might not be your time yet. So I just keep practicing and keep trying. And if something doesn't work, well, I keep doing it until it does. So, yeah.
And you said it might not be your time yet. Where'd that come from?
Well, my mom always used to tell me sometimes, I always used to be like, well, Mom, when am I going to blow up? When am I going to be famous? And she always tells me, well, sometimes, well, maybe it's not your time yet.
Mm,
Yet. And that's what I always
mm,
remember, yet, because it might not be your time right now. But if you
mhm.
keep practicing and keep striving and motivating yourself, then the right time will come up when it is your time. So I always
Mm.
just remember that.
So that word "yet"
Yes.
in the back of your mind says, "Okay, well, it's just not right now.
Yeah.
It's coming in the future."
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for pointing that out to all of our talented teams all over the world who want to be famous, and for them to know to just keep practicing the craft,
Yes.
because there's an old African saying that if you keep headed in the right direction, the doors will open, and the doors are slowly but surely opening for you. I think because we all have an inside inkling to want to be known for the work that we do, because our gifts always make room for us. And I also want to thank the sponsor of this show, which is StreamYard, and I'll be playing their promo shortly. StreamYard is the platform that allows us to have all these beautiful graphics that we do that looks just like the news. So we're going to be showing that. I won't interrupt you out because I know you're on your lunch break, and we'll do that later. But today's sponsor is also by iTex, itex.com. iTex, are you an entrepreneur?
I want to become one day, but
I
not
think
yet.
I think you already are. You're headed in that direction because you're going to have t-shirts and hats and cups and gloves and all kinds of things. So that's an entrepreneur. So keep that in mind that today's show is sponsored by itex.com. Karen Kelly is our broker, and it is a platform for entrepreneurs such as yourself who have products or services that they can barter. And they have a saying that says, pay attention or pay cash. So, so we want you to pay attention because we know you're paying attention because you're listening to the still small voice. And speaking of the still small voice, as we give ancestors, before you came on, the funeral of Queen Mother Cicely Tyson is happening right now in New York City. And we always want to give kudos to the ancestors who came before us, 96, 97 years young, who refuse to take roles that belittle people that look like us. Did you know of Cicely Tyson, Queen Mother Cicely Tyson?
Yes, I did. I did actually. Right before she passed, I didn't know her personally, of course,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
I remember it was me and my mom and my sister, and we were all sitting on the couch, and I believe it was her last movie before she passed away. It was a Tyler Perry movie called A Fall from Grace,
Yeah.
and we were watching her, and my mom was like, "Oh my goodness." It's funny how it doesn't matter which age you are, how old you
Mhm,
are, or how young you are, how
mhm,
whenever you have a passion, how it still sticks in your mind and how you can still do it no matter how old you are. So yeah, of course, I've known Cicely Tyson and I've watched some of her movies, and she's just lived an amazing legacy that will be remembered in everybody's mind.
mm. I'm so glad you said that because our children need to know. And
Most
you
definitely.
are at the age where you can tell people your age, young people your age, and not hear from older people like me. It's like, oh, they old, they don't know what they're doing.
Uh,
But you know, so you've seen the movie and you've seen the difference that she made in
yeah.
the quality of lives in our people. Now, my next question has more to do with people who are not in a comfortable position like we are, like we are today.
Yeah.
We're inside, we're warm. This weekend, February 19th, is the second anniversary of my little brother, Douglas Robinson, who was murdered by a homeless man in Tent City here in Chicago. And you remind me of him teeny weeny bit because of his entrepreneurial, his artistry. So I said that to say this, that we will be having a um, celebration, not a memorial, but a celebration for his life, for all the work that he did. Because I didn't know this until he passed, that he was regarded in his community in Tent City. That's a little area here in Chicago by the expressway. It's called Tent City. That he was referred to as like the mayor of that area. He did not have to go out and hustle anymore because his tent was so big and so wide, and he allowed people to come in who did not have a tent, who did not have heat. He allowed them to come into his tent and sleep. I was like, oh my goodness,
Wow.
I had no idea. So that is the fundraiser that we're doing, and people can always see the information that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Now, I have down there that we're collecting funds for air mattresses and generators, but I had one of our elders say that you're wasting your money with air mattresses because once you get on them, they deflate. So we'll just say generators for the purpose of this. Do you know anyone, Kelvin, who's homeless, or have you ever been homeless?
Ooh, if I've known anyone who's been homeless before.
Because there's a lot of homeless youth. I had no idea that
Yeah.
there were homeless youth.
Yeah. I don't know anybody personally who has been
Mhm.
homeless before, but I most definitely I remember when I visited LA and me and my family we were riding down the streets and we saw so many homeless people that some of them didn't even have access or wasn't as fortunate as we were to be able to have heat and air like you said. So
Mm,
yeah, there was so many people who I saw. I don't know any personally,
mm.
but yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, it is. And thanks to you and others like you who are sharing their talent, maybe this will encourage others to give from their heart to help those, especially the youth. Oh,
Yeah.
it boggles me that we live in such a filthy rich country where there are homeless people. That does not have to be.
Yeah, it
So,
doesn't.
so in honor of the homeless today, would you please give us just a little bit, if you don't mind, because you know we love to hear your voice. If you would just share with us something that you sang at the 2020 Teen Talent Contest that won you first place here on the Higher Learning Network. That'll work.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Well, I sung "Ordinary People" by John Legend. So,
All
here we go.
right.
Girl, I'm in love with you, but this ain't the honeymoon. We're past the infatuation phase. Right in the thick of love. At times we get sick of love. It's like we argue every day. I know I made mistakes, and you made your mistakes, and we both still got room left to grow. And though our love advances, we take second chances. Though it's not a fantasy, I still want you to stay. We're just ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow and take it slow. Oh, it's time we take it slow. Thank you.
Oh, that is so. Oh my goodness, my husband's clapping in the background.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, I have to ask you the question, Kelvin. I have to ask you, have you written anything of your own?
Yes, I have. I have
Ooh.
written some music on my own as well as produced it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, for those who don't know, what does that mean when you say you produced it?
So when I produced it, it means that I've mixed the song by myself, I've mastered it by myself, I've made the beat by myself. So everything is just homemade by myself. So yeah.
Really? So you have a home studio?
Yes, I do. I do.
What does that consist of for those who are interested in maybe doing that at home to showcase their talent?
Well, it consists of my own microphone. I have my own audio processing system on my computer. I have my own MIDI. And now, if you're not familiar with well, for mine, it's an actual keyboard and it processes the actual sound into your computer as well. It's
Mm.
kind of like a little piano, if you will. And that's what it mostly consists of. I mostly do it from my actually typing keyboard into the audio processing system. So yeah, so that's how I mostly produce my music, and then I mix it with some of the presets that they give me. So yeah.
Okay, now what's a preset for those who may not know?
So
You're
I
getting
usually
technical. You're getting technical and you're teaching people here. So
yes,
thank
yes.
you.
No problem, no problem. So what a preset is, or the presets that I mostly use, I use vocal presets, and the vocal presets that come with the audio processing system mostly either boosts or just makes my voice sound a little bit more fuller so that it fits with the actual track or the instrumental that I'm singing with. So that's what I
Mm,
mostly use to either mix my songs down, and then I just process them and send them out to people and see if they like them.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, how did you find out about, and then I want you to sing something original. How
Yeah.
did you find out about the Higher Learning Network Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest? How did you find out about us?
I actually found out from my mom. I believe we were scrolling on Backstage. What?
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I mostly use. So she was scrolling and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Kelvin, they have a teen talent contest that you can enter in." And since I sing, she was like, "Of course you could sing." So I was like, "Okay, mom." So I read into it and I'm like, "Wow, this is really amazing." And so I entered, and then after that, I was able to sing my song, and then I entered it in. So yeah,
what's your mom's name?
Candace, Candace.
Candace. Well, thank you so much, Miss Candace.
She's at work, but I'll make sure to tell her.
Yes, tell her we appreciate her because not all moms recognize their children's talent.
True. Yeah.
So you're one of the fortunate few. Now give us some more of that talent, something that you wrote.
Okay. So I actually have the song out on all streaming platforms. It's called
Oh,
Victory. So
oh,
yeah. All right.
oh.
I know you want the taste of victory.
All right
You
now.
smell the green from a mile away. You smell the green from a mile away. I know you want the taste of victory. You smell the green from a mile away. You smell the green. But you have to hear the rest if you buy my song. So
All
yeah.
right now. And what's that website to go to? Let me type that in the comments here.
If you just search up on YouTube, you can search up youtube.com/Kelvin Dukes or my YouTube channel, Kelvin.sings.
YouTube.com/Kelvin, Kelvin,
Yes.
Kelvin Sings.
Yes, dot sings.
Oh, Kelvin dot sings. Okay, because that's important. Okay. I am pulling that up right now. When you said, Kelvin, when you said smell the green, what green were you
Oh,
referring to?
not like that, not like that. I'm referring to actual money. So like it's kind of
Oh,
it's kind of like a mantra as well. It's kind of like if you want something really badly, you have to go for it and you have to go get it if that's something that you really want. And the way as I wrote it, I was thinking, of course, when I get up into my actual career, if I do blow up and my music does really great as well, it's kind of
okay.
like that sense of relief like, oh my gosh, I've been fighting this whole time for something that I really want really badly, and I'm finally getting the victory. I'm finally getting what I want.
Mhm.
And of course, it's not all about money, but of course, I put that in there as well to show as like kind of like me treating my family as well.
Mhm.
Like not only me blowing up and seeing that what I've fought for and what I've worked for so hard is actually coming true, but as well as the people that helped me along the way. And I showed them how much I truly appreciate them by money. So yeah.
And who are some of those people along the way that you want to thank? You can thank them now.
Okay, most definitely my family, my actual talent coach as well, Mr. Mark. I also want to thank some of my friends who have also, also made music with me as well. So yeah, mostly them. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned the fact that when you blow up, well, I want you to know that you are already there. It's a process, that you take steps slowly but surely. So don't think that you're not there because you really are already there. And
Okay.
I just want to share the screen and show your video page. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Your YouTube page
Okay.
for our viewers. So I'm sharing the screen. You see Kelvin there? There
Yes, I
he
see.
is. That's Kelvin.
That's me.
So all you have to do is search YouTube Kelvin Sings to find his songs and go ahead and make that purchase, and you'll be glad you did because we got him live right here
Yes.
on Higher Learning Network.
Woo.
What are some of your closing thoughts to young people such as yourself who have dreams of becoming living to their fullest potential as you are now? So you're in this point in your life where you can still go places and people recognize you and they say hi, but it's going to get to a point where you're going to need 24-hour security like Michael Jackson and John Lennon, who you sound a whole lot like. So, and I'm going to be honest with you before you answer that. I was never a John Legend fan. Oh, how can you say that? Until I heard that song.
Wow,
Until
really?
I heard that song and I was like, oh, okay. You know, sometimes people have to grow on you. You don't hear everything that everybody else hears. So it has to grow on you. And I talk about that in my first book on programming. It's called the Passion Principles, Pathways to Purpose, Power, and Profit. And it shows how we are programmed from day one, from birth, for the powers that be that want us to think a certain way. All programming. And until we figure that out, till we step away from the programming like you have and live to your fullest potential, that's when you can begin to see things happen.
Yes.
In life. So I'm glad I didn't like John Legend in the beginning. And not that I didn't like him. I didn't like his music was not my music of choice because I was brought up in the gospel community. My background is in gospel radio 1390 WGCI here in Chicago. So I'm always listening to gospel. And I'm like, John Legend, I ain't singing gospel. I don't care. No. But then Effie Roth, who was my coworker, she was like, girl, I love John Legend. You've got to hear this song. And then I heard that song and I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. Okay. Me pretty good. Can't even sing. And here I am talking about pretty good. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. To motivate like teens like me, that was the question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would most definitely say to not give up on your dreams. You may have people along the way as well telling you, oh, you'll never make it. This industry is really crazy. Oh, you can never do it. You don't have the voice for it. And to that, I say, what I learned was that don't listen to the haters. All they're going to do is bring you down. And not only will that bring you down, but it makes you feel as though you can't do it. And you can. And you truly can. There is no way that you should let somebody who's not in your field or somebody who's not doing what you're doing tell you how you should produce your music or how you should sing, because that's totally wrong. If you feel like inside of you that you have a voice and that you have a power to keep going and to not stop, listen to that voice inside of your head and keep going no matter what. And there's going to be challenges and there's going to be losses. And like me, I don't win absolutely everything that I enter or that happens, but it still is a way for me to learn from those mistakes or learn from those performances and to keep going and striving because that makes you a better person in the end, of course.
So what was your excellent answer? So well-rounded young man. What was your darkest point, and has there been one?
Ooh, a darkest point. I wouldn't say a darkest point. I would call it probably like writer's block. Like sometimes either if I'm writing or I'm singing a song and when I practice it, it doesn't sound the way that I want to. I take a step back and I breathe and I take a moment to reflect over everything that I've practiced. And if it doesn't sound right to me, I'll redo it and I'll re-sing it and I'll keep singing it until I get it the way I want to. So I wouldn't say like a dark moment. I would just probably say like a moment of frustration. So, yeah.
Okay. What we call singers or writers, creativity blocks.
Yeah, creativity block, yes. Because
there's so much mental illness, and I'm going to let you go because I know you're on your lunch break. Because there's a lot of mental illness in the Black community, the indigenous community, because we're not Black, as you can see that this is Black, this is Black, this is Black. We're not Black. We're Native Americans. We just don't know it. How is it that you remain in a positive state of mind? Because sometimes there are voices in our head. The people who are on medication, they can't control those voices and they have to take medication to calm themselves down or just to be functional. How do you handle that? What do you do?
Well,
What do you
I
say?
well, I most definitely, I just actually started getting into it, but I most definitely started getting into like spirituality and conforming with myself and sometimes sitting out with myself. And if there's a moment in life, or if I'm mad or if I'm angry, I sit myself down, I take a breather, and I either pray, of course, because that's always definitely an option. I pray and I get myself out of that moment, or I get myself out of that state of anger, or I just take a breather, like I said, and I pray. And then I also meditate. I started meditating as well, or I exercise sometimes, just so that I don't stay in that state of mind of I'm always going to be angry this day, or I'm always going to be always just sad, because I don't feel like I should be, or that I should project that anger or sadness onto other people. So I always most definitely take a step back on whatever I'm doing. I pray and I think about it and I'm like, should I really do this? So yeah, that's what I mostly do.
So, what is that your daily routine, or what is your daily routine?
Well, my daily routine is my mom wakes me up, and then I do everything I got to do. I make sure that I finished everything, that I do all my chores as well. I listen to my favorite songs. I dance around the house. I make sure I finish my homework and go into my classes. And then after that, once I'm done with everything and I make sure that my schedule is free, I start my music making. So yeah,
Okay. And what school do you go to?
I go to Blake High School.
And that's in Maryland?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you read? What do you like to read?
Ooh, what I like to read. I really started, well, this was way younger, but I was around 8 years old and I started the trilogy. It is the Maze Runner trilogy. That is my favorite all time books. They came out with like 3 movies, and those right there are like my favorite books. So yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a book I want you to read that I just found out about from a young man. It's called Black People Invented Everything. Have you heard of this?
I believe I have. I believe, let me screenshot it just so that oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Sujan K. Doss, Doss, Dass. Look him up on YouTube. He tells fascinating stories about us as a people, how we invented everything, and we don't even know.
Yes.
So I asked you to share that with your friends and family, because I didn't write the book. I don't know the man. I haven't got a dime. I'm not making a dime off of it. This is about knowledge and wisdom, and we all need to know this for Black, especially for Black History Month.
Yes.
And do you have any type of breathing exercises that you do mentally for your stress relief?
Ooh, for my stress relief, I most definitely I turn on I believe it's a different type of Hertz type of music, and what I do is I take a big breath in and I breathe from my nose inwards and out from my mouth, and I close my eyes and I put myself in a very nice peaceful space. I put myself in a place where I would love to stay. Like, for example, I like to think of myself on the sand at a beach with a really nice sunset. And I keep those breathing exercises. Deep inhale inwards through your nose and out from your mouth. And I keep doing that until I calm down and I keep going. So yeah.
Wow, I do not believe this is on the show, the Higher Learning Network TV show, and the Female Solution. Every Monday morning, that's why you see in the lower right hand corner, it says Monday Morning Mindfulness. I go through a 10-minute breathing exercise. So when you get a chance, go back and look at it and share it with your mom. And we do the exact same thing you just mentioned.
Wow.
How is it that you know this at 13 and I didn't get it until I was in my 60s? That's what I want to know.
I don't
That's
know
what I want to know.
It's really crazy. I came across, I believe it was a YouTube video, and it was like stress relievers. And I watched it. I watched the whole thing, and I was like, "Wow, this is really crazy." I did it with the lady. She was like,
Don't you love YouTube?
"Yes."
YouTube.
That it's really crazy. It's I don't know. It was like it just came across in my recommended. I watched it, I tried it, and now I just keep it always with me. Like ever when I'm going on stage, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So yeah.
That is powerful. You are such a delightful young man. And the fact that you mentioned it had to be a certain frequency, because we don't know that we're electric and we vibrate and
Yeah.
and we don't know who we are because
Yeah.
we haven't read this book, Black People Invented Everything. Because I think if we knew that, we would act differently. And 432 is supposedly the frequency that we want to be on in order to live the quality of life that we so desire. So I want to thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
Thank you, young man, for taking the
Thank
time out of your lunch schedule at that
no
and
problem.
work with us and be with us here on the Higher Learning Network, because you are a phenomenal
Thank
young
you. Thank you so much.
age of 13. I remember when I was 13. I don't remember me doing any of this stuff that you do now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us here, and my husband is filming me here, you got to go all in the background. Filming him, he has a show called the Men on Higher Learning.
Mm.
You can go to his blog too, menonhigherlearning.blogspot.com. He is the producer of that show, and I'm going to take some of this footage and put it on his show as well. So, Kelvin Dukes,
Yes.
who is the 2020 winner of the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. He was number one out of over 200 entries,
Wow.
auditions. Yeah, you know there were that many. So
No.
it's like, oh Lord, have mercy. I hope so.
Oh my.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. So you keep that in mind. So thank you, Kelvin Dukes.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
We appreciate you. We bless you. And when we send you out into the ether to do all the great things that you're doing, just like Michael Jackson. If he can do it, you can too. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelvin. We appreciate you. Tell your mom, Candace, we love her too. Thank you so much.
I will.
Stay empowered and stay tuned to Kelvin Duke's YouTube channel, right. Kelvin Sings. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelvin. You have
Thank
a good day now.
You too.
My husband is a fan too. We're both fans.
Yeah.
Thank you.
His name is Tony Hope, so go check him out.
I will.
All right. Thank you, sweetie. You make it a great day.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. All righty. Wow, that was such a sweet young man at the age of 13. Can you believe that? At the age of 13? Wow. So I want you to go to his website, which is Kelvin Dukes. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. YouTube.com, Kelvin, Kelvin, Kelvin Sings. Okay, finish. Kelvin Sings. I just hit finish. Kelvin Sings. YouTube.com, Kelvin Sings. And I want to find that where I wrote it in here. Comment banners. I think I put it in here. And whatever you do, please get that book for Black People Invented Everything. Okay. And congratulations to Kelvin Dukes, runner-up of America's Got Talent. And he is the winner right here of the 2020 Virtual Global Teen Talent Contest. And you be sure and go check out his YouTube channel so that you too can support this young man, because he did not have to do what he's doing. So stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next mindfulness TV show. And be sure and email us if you want to become a part of the 2021 Global Teen Talent Contest. And you can email us at hlntvshow@gmail.com. That's hlntvshow. See it right there? I said that wrong. There it is. hlntvshow@gmail.com. And please keep in mind, you see the information scrolling on the bottom of the screen. February 19th is the second anniversary of my little brother Douglas Robinson, who was murdered, and my commitment to the people in 10 cities to help them stay warm. And I hope you will help them stay warm as well by sending a donation to, you can send it via PayPal. Higher Learning, the email address that they want is higherlearningnw@gmail, higherlearningnw@yahoo.com. And if you are not quite sure of how to Zelle or cash, you can email us at that same address, hlntvshow@gmail.com. We appreciate you. We are grateful for you. Stay safe and stay warm, and we will see you next time right here on the Higher Learning Network. Monday Morning Mindfulness, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we will speak with Brother Lionel Abdul Haq, and we will be discussing Black history, Black her story too. So we hope you'll join us. Thanks for watching. Shalom. Namaste. Okay. Make it a great day. And thanks for watching. Please share and like and subscribe.